The king walked confidently into what he believed was a feast in his honor. By sunset, the meeting would cost him his freedom, his throne, and his life, and an empire would change hands forever. The most brazen moment in Cajamarca, in the year 1532, began when the Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro lured the Inca ruler Atahualpa into a feast that had already been carefully rigged into an ambush. The Spaniards, vastly outnumbered with barely 200 men against tens of thousands of Inca warriors, but armed with steel swords, war horses, and gunpowder, surrounded the unarmed royal procession at dawn. Atahualpa arrived on a golden litter carried by his finest nobles, confident in the overwhelming numbers of his army, unaware that the feast laid out before him was already a deadly trap. They seized Atahualpa in the sudden chaos of the ambush, cutting down his unarmed nobles around him, the calculated opening move of a much larger and far greedier theft to come. They twisted a promise of freedom into one of history's greatest acts of treachery, a room filled floor to ceiling with gold, and 2 more rooms packed entirely with silver, demanded as his ransom. As llama caravans carried treasure down from the mountains for weeks on end, gold and silver pouring endlessly into Cajamarca, the conspiracy around Atahualpa only tightened its grip with every shipment that arrived.
Let it be inscribed that on this day the rights and privileges are granted, and by my seal this charter is affirmed and witnessed.
The eastern flank is exposed. We must reinforce it immediately.
Those troops are our only reserve.
A strategic retreat could save the army. We cannot afford a defeat. A retreat is surrender.
Under mounting pressure and direct threats of execution, Atahualpa was forced to accept Christian baptism, of faith imposed on him, not out of devotion, but as a desperate, captive king. He was found guilty by a Spanish court that had no real jurisdiction over an Inca emperor, a verdict that had effectively been written long before the trial itself ever even began. On the morning of July 26, 1533, Atahualpa was led out and executed by Garrote, the strangling cord that ended his life and extinguished the last independent throne of the Inca Empire forever. Conquest had finally become empire. The Inca throne that had stood for centuries now sat completely empty, and Spain's royal banner flew over Cajamarca, where the Sopa Inca himself had once ruled supreme. This was not a battlefield casualty. This was not the chaos of war. This was something far colder, calculated, deliberate crime, planned out from the very beginning. It was a legal smokescreen built to disguise a murder creed hidden behind crosses, scripture, and official proclamations. And it became the blueprint for colonial seizure across the entire continent of South America.